girlfriends. Hello, it's that time. It's that time. Peace and blessings to you as you come on in and join us. We are about to get ready for another interview. It's that time. All right, let's get set up. I hope you all have had a great day today and all is well. It has finally stopped raining here in South Carolina. We got some sun today, all day. I cannot believe it. So it's been a great day, and looking forward to our interview today with the beautiful mom of a lot of children out of North Carolina. So she should be joining us in just a little bit. But as you come in, be sure to let us know where you're viewing us from. It's always fun to see where people are all over. So just let us know. You don't have to be specific. Just let us know the state. Hey, Dee. Let us know what state you're viewing us from and where you're homeschooling at. That'd be great to hear and know. You just never know who else might join and be like, wow, they're right here in my hometown. So we'll be connecting, connecting folks together. That's what it's all about, connecting. So, all right, let's see here. All right, Liz, there she is. Very good. She is ready. Get her on here. Oh, let's see. Okay, there we go. There we go. There.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hey,
Yay.
everybody.
How's it going?
It's going really good. It's a warm day, so we like that. We like warm days.
Yeah. Have you all had much rain in your neck of the woods?
Yes, we've had a lot of rain. A lot of rain. Actually, our county-wide ended up not having power because of the rain. It's just a lot going on. But, after the rain, the sun comes out. It's so sunny out now.
And then it's beautiful things blooming.
Yeah.
And everything like that. Yeah, we've had a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks. Unbelievable. And huge trees falling and landslides and potholes and rolls. It's been in the highway area. It's been really serious here.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so look, girlfriends, look who we have on here today.
Me.
This is our guest. She said me. Yes, this is our guest out of, I guess you can say, Shelby, Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Heather, yeah, you're right, in Blacksburg. Yeah, real close to, pretty close, not too far away. Yeah. But anyway, let you know who we are. This is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling, and I'm the host, Angela Jordan Perry. Let me just let you know what this platform is about. This is the platform to give voice to the homeschooling African diaspora. And I've had someone ask me that recently, what is diaspora? And so that's a really good question. So if you think our people were all in one place in Africa, that's where we were, and then we scattered. There was a scattering, and so we became the diaspora, scattered out people. And so African diaspora, scattered out, and then you add homeschooling to it, and then we're even more fractured, African homeschooling diaspora. So that's who this platform is for, and for those who are marginalized homeschoolers. Now, marginalized homeschooling are those who are not, they're on the margins. They're not your main homeschool, normal people. I don't want to say normal, but, not the main group of people who homeschool. We're on the margins. And so that could be because of religious reasons. It could be because of sexual orientation. It could be maybe their kids' sexual orientation, or maybe illnesses or whatever. Right. And they are homeschooling for those reasons. So this is who this platform is for, the African homeschooling diaspora and the marginalized homeschoolers, to give you voice so that you can say, we homeschool too. We are here. Our kids are thriving. We're alive. We're doing well. So I'm Angela Jordan Perry. I am the mom of 8 children, homeschooling here in the upstate of South Carolina, the most northwestern part of the state, where we make our homestead. We are small farmers, self-sustaining farmers. And then also my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. I do that in part right here on Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. And then I serve my community here in South Carolina, where I give homeschoolers legal right to homeschool. So that's what I do in part. Okay. I'm married to my husband of 26 years. And like I said, we have 8 children and we've graduated 3. We have 5 more to go. 18 years of homeschooling.
Yes.
Yes. We're in the thick, and we got about, eight more years to go, I believe, 8, 9 more years. So that's who we are. But hey, we got our special guest today. So Sunny is her name. Are you ready to make it happen?
We ready. We're so ready.
So ready. So ready. Listen, let me tell you a little bit about Sunny. Well, yeah, I got to make sure I got the right one, but I don't have the right name. Oh, goodness, Sunny.
That's all right. That's
what
all right.
Tell you today about myself.
It's one of those days. The rain.
Yes. Here we go. I got it. The right one. Let me tell you about Sunny. Sunny Anderson Brown is a working homeschooling mom who spends her days balancing it all. She began her homeschooling journey as a single parent, where she successfully turned her children's academic fears into passions. Now a married mom of 7, including 2 newborn twins. She serves her family and their various sports and activities as their #1 cheerleader. In her professional career, Sunny has spent the last 20 years in nonprofit youth programming. She is an aquatic specialist who desires all young people to learn to swim, serving as a youth pastor, advocate, and champion in Ohio, New York, and North Carolina. Sunny has built a long-standing track record for successful inner-city youth ministry. And I have just shared just a little bit about you, Sunny, to the girlfriend. So tell us more about yourself and how you actually got started in your homeschooling journey.
So I feel like that was really good way to sum it all up. I had a great introduction to homeschooling. I was voicing my concerns about my son, who was in traditional school and was struggling. We experienced the public school, and then we also went over and experienced an amazing private school. But there still were some gaps that just weren't being filled. And so he and I, we discussed what we could do and how we could get better. And I was voicing kind of my frustrations out into our social media world, like we all do. And a friend of mine, Dwan, she said to me, she said, "Have you considered homeschooling?" And then she talked to me about homeschooling. She was the first African-American homeschooler I had ever met. And she has several children who all have different learning curves and different things that they do. And so to see her be able to operate in it, it made me feel like, oh wait, I could maybe do this. So I was completely ignorant about homeschool. I didn't know anything about it.
Wow.
And so I was introduced very quickly to words like unschooling, and deschooling, and the difference between traditional school and brick and mortar, different words that we use often as homeschoolers that I wasn't really, I didn't know anything about, as a traditional schooler. So I took the plunge. I joined the light side, as I always say. And so it's been a wonderful going on 5-year journey for us now. I currently homeschool my now 13-year-old. Oh my goodness. My 13-year-old, she's going into the 8th grade. And then my son, he's 11. He is going to the 7th grade. And we just started really doing play and letter recognition and things with my 2-year-old. So she's very excited about Todd School. So different ways. And then, the rest of them, I have 2 wonderful bonus children who are in traditional school. And so on the weekends, we like to do a lot of science experiments with them. And then our 2 youngest are, of course, the 8-month-old twins now. So, yep, that's our story.
Wow. Yeah. So tell us, give a little detail. Was something particularly going on with your son academically, or was he just a bad environment with public school? And I do want to preface this, and I should do this every show, is that although we edify homeschooling, we're not putting down public school. It's almost like this is the equivalent.
Absolutely.
Equivalent. It's like saying Black Lives Matter, and then someone say, "Well, all lives matter."
Right.
We're not putting one up over, to put one
Right.
down. We're just acknowledging one focus. So that's what we're doing with homeschooling. We're just acknowledging that, but not condemning or anything with public.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. I mean, I'm a product of public school.
Yeah,
I'm a product of traditional schooling. So I had some great teachers that really influenced me to help me be able to homeschool today. And so I definitely support traditional schooling, just not for my family at this point. And so with my son, he was in the second grade, going into the third grade, and he just, there was a large classroom. We were in New York City, so there were upwards of 30 students in the classroom. There was a teacher and usually a teacher assistant in the classroom as well. But it was a lot. It was a lot just to ask of any teacher.
Mm-hmm.
As we mentioned just before, my heart goes out to a lot of these teachers because it's overwhelming to watch, trying to, I can barely do my 7. So who are mine? So to try to do 30,
right,
children that come from 30 different homes, I mean, my hat goes off to them. And so, he just wasn't, he didn't thrive in that environment. He needed more one-on-one attention. I learned that he needed to be able to stand up and walk around. He needed to be able to get up and maybe take a test on a bouncy ball, and he would do it. He memorizes well that way. I learned that if he didn't write things down, he was not going to remember them. If he didn't do something with his hands that had to do with the lesson, he would forget all about the lesson the next week. And the other things that I got to notice, paying attention to him because he's mine, that I knew that it just would be impossible to ask a teacher that has 25, 30 other students to do that with each individual child in the allotted time that they have. And that's not even considering having to do like the standardized tests and things that they have to assess to. So it's right. I don't knock public school or private school. We tried the public school in New York City, and then we went to a private school that we really loved in New York City. But still, academically, there were some things that I wanted for my children that they just weren't able to provide at that point. So that's what made me make the decision. I realized that my son was behind the learning curve, and because he was behind and there were 29 other students, it's really hard to stop and try to review with one student when there are 29 or at least 20 others that are going right along. And unfortunately, that's what generally can happen, is our students are being left behind, not because they're not smart, but because they learn differently, and everyone doesn't have time to go assess the way they learn first and then to actually teach according to the way that they learn.
Yes. How long did it take? Can you ascertain how long it took, but by the time you brought your son home to get his groove or to catch up, or what was the time frame? Was it like short? He learned and he got it, and boom, he just took off. I mean, where are y'all at on that?
I would say immediately it turned because at that point he hated school, because he felt like he always was failing. He never understood what was going on. And then he started to act out because he was bored. They were going along with the lesson and he didn't have any clue what was going on. Mm-hmm. So by the time that I took him out, we deschooled, which means we took time to take a break from school. We took about 2 months, and we just started picking up slowly. I knew that my son, I knew his passions. I'm his mom. I knew what he was excited about. I knew that he loved heroes and characters. He loved to like dress up as Wolverine and Batman. Mm-hmm. I knew that. Mm-hmm. And so what we started doing was getting his reading material, which he was far behind in reading. I mean, he literally could barely even just pronounce how words should be pronounced. I mean, it was very dismal. But what I did was we went to the library every day and we got comic books and we would sit and just read the comic books. I initially started reading them to him. And as we went along, I would say, hey, let's read this part together. And we started to read it together. And it was very short ones. They were very short ones. And then as time went on, he started progressing. And the summer passed and he was up to graphic novels and he was reading out loud. He was reading because he was reading what he wanted to read. And I was taking time with him. If he got frustrated, I'd say, hey, let's take a break. Let's go back tomorrow. Let's go outside and let's go play on the slip and slide, or let's go to the pool. Let's just take a break. We don't have to do it today. And I think that started to just help him kind of take ownership of his education, to realize that it's okay to say, right now, I'm not understanding it. So instead of getting frustrated, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to regroup, and then we're going to come back and do it in a couple hours, or we'll come back and do it tomorrow. And that's what I've seen really work for him.
Okay, good deal, good deal. So with that in mind, it sounds like you were off to a good start. What was your actual starting of homeschool like, Sunny?
So I actually started with easy peasy, of course, right? Because I was, as I was a single mom who had moved from New York City to North Carolina, and I was pregnant. I mean, it was like, I don't know if I really want to do this, and I don't have a lot of money to really try things. So my mentor definitely suggested easy peasy. And it was a great beginning. It was a great kind of smooth transition once we came out of taking a break from school and going right into something new. It was very easy to understand. I could kind of take however long or however short that we needed to do. So it was really good for both of them. And then my daughter just kind of took off, and she just kind of flew through the curriculum. And my son, we were able to take, a little more time as he got acclimated. So it really worked. And then we started really looking, because of course we know our homeschool village always has suggestions, and there's always stuff that's offered. And I'll tell anybody, if you're interested in doing homeschool, you cannot do it alone. This is a village. That's why I always watch, I try to watch whenever you're interviewing anybody, because I always learn about a new curriculum or a new idea or a new way of doing things. We'll never know it all. So I feel like I'm constantly researching and gathering different things. So we ended up going into vocabulary, and we ended up looking at Abeka, and then we were looking at just all of these different things. And I knew that I wanted to have a curriculum that reflected my son. I wanted him to see heroes of color. And so, when we started doing our story, we started off with great heroes that were of color, Hispanic heroes and Asian heroes and African American heroes. I wanted that to be the crux of their understanding. And then we started throwing in like William Shakespeare, and then we started throwing in different things. So I want you to see every day that you are in history, and your history is not just slavery. And so that's what we wanted. So it's been a great thing. We've been able to use everything, especially everything free, because I love free. But I will pay a little fee if I have to.
Right. Tell me this. What is your habit? I mean, you're a working mom, you're a married mom,
Yes.
now, and keeper of your home, have your children, babies, twins. What is your schedule like? Do you all have a day habit, like certain days of the week is like this, or what's your daily habit to keep yourself sane and keep things in order?
So Sunday night is when I try is the key word. I try to teach all new material on Sunday night. The week before, like the Thursday, Friday, I make sure that the videos are already queued for vocabulary, and anything that I need, I'll go to the library and print out anything that I need printed, because I've learned that they need a mix. They like to see it on video, write down, through like worksheets or homework, and then do something physical like a field trip or something with their hands, or build something to actually hold that information. So I try to make sure all of that is set up like the Thursday or Friday before, and I'll bring it home. And then that Sunday night, I'll introduce the new material, especially math. Math is usually what we spend a little time on that Sunday night. And then I go to work Monday morning. The kids get up. My husband is with them during the day. And so he will, he's great at math and music, thankfully. One of those that I'm terrible at. Mm-hmm. So is able to go over what they learned the previous night and answer some homework questions. I'll call in like on my lunch and make sure if they have any questions that maybe I can answer, I'm able to do it. I do always encourage them to attempt. I think that's a huge thing for me, for my kids. I definitely was telling them, as scholars, you have to at least try. If you're going to go to your professor in college and say, I don't understand something, you need to bring an attempt that you made and say, this is what I attempted, but I'm not getting to the correct answer, or I'm not getting to the end. I'm not understanding how it's connecting, but do not come with nothing and expect an answer. So we have a lot of thrown away sheets here because we've just tried. We're like, do it, try it again, let's try. And so that's usually what happens Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday evening, I'll do like the review. And Thursday, they will come to the Y, work out Thursday and Friday, and then we'll usually take the quiz on Thursday evening. And then we're off Friday, Saturday, and then we start again on Sunday.
Wow. Wow. And this is the point, girlfriends. I want you to see that, this working mom and a working dad and 6 children. Is that right?
7, yeah.
Children. And they're making it happen and they're homeschooling.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's so possible. But for the most part, you got to do as much as hard as you can to stay diligent in some organization and be on top of that. That sounds like a really good routine you got.
Yeah, it definitely works. And when I was single, I had 2 part-time jobs. So I worked nights. So I would work nights. And so we would school. I worked at a daycare, a 24-hour daycare, and we would school at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And then they would go to sleep. And I would get off work at 7 a.m. We would go, we would eat, we would review what we talked about. I would go to sleep. They would go through, their different their morning activities and different things. And in the afternoon, I would go to my second job. They would come and work out at the Y and do different things like that. So it's possible to do. And the thing I love about homeschooling is that it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It doesn't have to. There's no one way to homeschool. And you don't always have to think that as a working parent that you have to either quit your job or pay somebody else to homeschool them. You might have to pay someone to keep them during the day, but you can still be the homeschooler in the evening. I've said before, my 2-year-old, she likes to get up at 10:30 at night and she likes to school. We don't know why. That's just her time. She likes to get up and she'll school for 30 minutes. She'll do her coloring and her letters, and then she'll lay down and go to bed. I mean, that's her thing. And I want to encourage, I want to encourage schooling everywhere all the time. Just on Saturday, my husband was schooling with he got a bunch of coins out of our coin jar, and I walked in and they were talking about fractions and how fractions were made up. And I was just like, okay, you school everywhere. You school all the time. We include as home ec, my kids, a part of that is cleaning and cooking and when to use bleach and when you shouldn't use bleach. Why shouldn't you use bleach on dishes? Why do we use dish detergent on dishes? Let's look at the ingredients. Which one of these is healthier? That's things that I want them to know why we do what we do. Why it's not a good idea to put laundry detergent in, just different things like, hey, let's see what happens. Do you know what happens if you put laundry detergent in the dishwasher? Do you know? Let's see what happens, so just getting to know why we do different things that we do and why we cook and why we clean chicken before we cook it. I know that was a big discussion.
It's life learning. I mean, all
Yes.
through life, you're learning
Yes.
every opportunity, and it don't always have to be out of a book. I mean, it's just life
Exactly.
learning. That is really good.
Exactly.
So we're going to transition here, Sunny, and take us to your worst day of homeschooling.
Okay.
Day where you just was like, oh, what am I doing? What in the world? And I'm going to tell you, I always ask this question. It's one of my favorite questions because it humanizes us. For those who aren't homeschooling, you know, they often look at these and be like, wow, oh my goodness, she's amazing. But you know, when you break it down and say we got some hard days too, it brings us back to humanity, you know. So take us to your worst day, Sunny, where you almost quit. You were over it. You almost quit, but you didn't, and that's
Yeah.
why you're this amazing homeschooling mom of 7 kids you are today. Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness. I would say that just recently, we have entered into the world of geometry. And I've entered into the world of geometry with a now 13-year-old child. And it's been an interesting thing because there are days where she has, I don't like to say moody, but she's just in a different zone. She's in a
Okay.
different zone.
Mm-hmm.
And in that zone, it doesn't always it's not always ready to be pushed. And so I pushed when, in retrospect, um, no, I'm not gonna say in retrospect. I'll say that I feel like I should have pushed. And she bucked and she was just distraught and she didn't understand and she felt like she wasn't smart when it comes to math and she didn't understand it. She didn't understand why she was gonna need it. And so we went on. And so I let her have her moment. I told her, hey, let's take a break. Go get ice cream. It was hot. I was tired. I've been up with babies. I didn't have the patience. The other kids needed our attention as well. My husband was at work. Like it was just too much going on. So I went inside my car and I think I made like a video where I often make videos inside my car where I talk about how I'm hiding from my children. And I just had a moment where I was just like, this is too much. I just need a break. And I realized that it had been probably about 8 weeks and we hadn't taken a break. Generally, I try to go 6 weeks and then we take like a week off because we school year round. And I realized it had been 8 weeks. And I thought about how we always talk about self-care and we always talk about how at some point your body, your mind, your spirit needs a break. You have to say, but what we're accustomed to, especially as Black women, we're accustomed to continue to keep going. And we put in the back of our mind that our body is starting to slowly shut down. Our mind is starting to slowly shut down. We start snapping at people. We start saying we need coffee when really we just need a break and we need sleep, right? And so I had to kind of do like a self-assessment and realize that it's not just them that need the break. I personally need a break so that I can rejuvenate.
Yeah.
So I went back into her and I said, hey, I'm going to continue to push you, but we aren't always able to break down. I need you to be able to articulate what your frustration is and why you don't understand something. Or if you can't say why you don't understand, just say, I am not understanding how it goes together. I
Yeah.
need help. We have to be able to be comfortable saying that. And a lot of times we're not because we're put into spaces that we have to be the strong one, that we have to be the strong Black woman, that we have to speak a little loud. Just as a woman, a lot of times we have to come into rooms and we have to be on top of everything. And we're not always able to say that. But what happens is that we miss things and then we try to catch up in the back because we're not understanding really what happened because we didn't ask for help. And I didn't want that to be her. I want you to be able to see that this is a safe place to have that conversation. So we were able to get through it. We did put geometry down for the day. We took a week off and we came back and we went back at it a week later.
Wow, wow, wow. That's good, good, good. And again, another life learning Had she not been there or that situation popped up, maybe you wouldn't have had that opportunity to for that life learning moment. So
Right.
always beautiful. That's beautiful. So take us conversely to your most memorable day. You know,
Okay.
that was your worst day that almost made you want to quit. What is your your memorable day that just make you, say, this is why I do what I do right here. This is why I do it.
Yeah.
Share that moment with us.
I think the most recent one was when we were meeting, and my son was talking with us, and he started talking about his education. We were meeting about at the end of every quarter, we sit and we have like a parent. I say a parent-child meeting. It's like an administrator-student meeting, and we meet and we discuss what worked well, what didn't work well, what can we do better. In the first couple years we've done it, it's been yes and no answers, and yeah, I kind of like it. But this past semester, it was, Mom, I'm really interested in building things. So I think it would be really good if I could do like engineering things. Are there toys that I can get so that I can get credit? And he started like he started talking like a student, like a student who was taking control of his education. He said, what classes will I have to take? And he started seeking out people who are engineers, and he asked them, what kind of engineer are you? There's a phenomenal homeschool mom named G Emotu, and she told him, she said, yeah, I'm an engineer. And it got him really interested in how engineering works, all the different kinds of engineering, and that really kind of set him up to actually be excited about math, where before he was not. But every engineer told him, hey, you have got to be excited and be really pursuing these math curriculums.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So is he like in a community or some kind of co-op or something where he can keep fostering that love of engineering?
Yeah, that's actually what we're looking for. Now we basically drive and take him to these different things, and I have the opportunity, because I work at a great nonprofit, that we're able to kind of foster that and start those particular classes and for homeschoolers. So that's what we've been doing. This was just our recent one. So it really made me just excited, because now he's asking. Now, mind you, he's in the 7th grade, and now he's asking, hey, what schools have great engineering programs, and can we go visit this school? That just wasn't a conversation that I had in the 7th grade. I think I knew what I wanted to be in the 7th grade, but I definitely had no real interest in what colleges I was gonna look at, probably until like freshman year. So he's 2 years ahead of me at least.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it made me get that little fluttery homeschool feeling.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, listen, girlfriends, all of you girlfriends tuning in or who are coming on the replay, this is Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling. And I'm your host my name is Angela Jordan Perry. And hey there, out of North Carolina. And we're here with Sunny out of North Carolina, Sunny Anderson, and homeschooling mom of 6 children and a working mom. So this is unique, and that working mom, working dad, homeschooling, and they're making it happen. So you all take some nuggets and just dream a little bit and just make it happen. Make it happen if this is your heart's desire. To educate your own. So we're going to switch gears to the end of our show where we ask questions just to pick your brain, just to get some quick answers from 1 or 2 sentences from you. So what is your favorite quote, Sunny, or mantra that you use to help you through this homeschooling journey?
Yes, it is 1 Corinthians 15:10. By the grace of God, I am what I am. I love that. I love how Paul, he filters it. He says, by the grace of God. And he says, however I am created, all that I am, it is only by the grace of God that I am such. And so I love that quote. I use it all the time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you plan to homeschool all the way through the end of whatever that looks like for their homeschooling?
I do plan to. We discuss at the end of every session. But so they do have some say in it. But I do plan to.
Are they like on board? Are they excited about the idea of
Yes.
possibly finishing through, or are they?
Yes, my daughter definitely is, and which before she wasn't. And so this year I've seen definitely a change in she has no desire to return to traditional school.
Wow, interesting. Okay, well, what is something unique to the Anderson homeschool that, maybe something you all do every day or whatever that you're like, this is our thing. We got to make sure we do this thing. What is that that you have, Sunny?
We have rock class, so my my husband likes to teach them to understand the greatness of rock music, and so he gets out his guitar, his lead guitar, and they get their drums and they sing and they write songs, and they love to delve deep into rock music.
Okay, that's different. Nope, I never had that class in my homeschool. That's neat. What is the best piece of advice you have had in your homeschooling journey?
That I cannot do it alone, that there is a huge village, and that homeschool does not look like anybody else's school, be it traditional homeschool, public school, private school. It depends on what is going on in the Brown family. It's totally different than what's going on in the Perry family. So
Right.
yeah.
That's true. Very, very true. Very, very, very true. And you all, she said the word village. I love that word. We are building a village, building a village in which you can draw from and connect with. So yes, got to be we are a part of a village. We just got to stay connected to it. That's all.
That's it.
So tell us your favorite resource, app, online resource, or program on the computer or what have you that you all use in your homeschooling.
I love the African American homeschoolers on Facebook. That's a huge network for me. I'm often able to go there and get a lot of ideas from a lot of different women. As far as curriculum, I love vocabulary. I love that it's put together, the way that it's put together. I am on the hunt always for culturally appropriate historical curriculums. So I have a few friends that are making those things. And so it's always good to kind of follow up with that as well. But yeah, those are probably my three that I utilize often.
And for you all, because you broke up at the beginning when you were saying, but she said the African American Homeschool Moms Group. So if you ought to say that, it's a group on Facebook, African American Homeschool Moms Group. So yes, very, very good. What do you have a favorite book that you dove into when you started homeschooling that you feel like every homeschool family should have in their library?
No, I didn't have like a specific book, but I did read a book by goodness, what is his name? I can't even think of the man's name, but it's a book that's called From Good to Great. And I read that book, and it's really a leadership book, but it really pushes you from going to the status quo to going above and beyond. And I felt like that's what I needed for my homeschool. I've committed now, starting in July, to read a book a week. So I am gathering materials now. So the more books that I read, I will definitely get you some more out there.
Wow, good deal. That is a good feat, girl. That is huge.
It's huge.
That is a book a week. Wow. I'm gonna be rooting you on. Go. I'm gonna ask you, Sunny, what book what book?
Yes, please hold me accountable. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I get books from the library all the time. It's so sad, and I'm like, I'm gonna read these books, and I start off well, and then life hits me, and then it just and then they're late from the library and all this kind of craziness.
Yeah, but I feel like if I can tell my kids, hey, I'm at least reading a book a week, no matter how busy that I am. There are assignments and different things that you should be able to get finished in a week. There should be no excuse, but I want them to see my action so I can use that.
yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, we're on the last question.
Last question.
The $1 million question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, listen, here it is. if you had to start all over again to day one of your homeschooling journey, but you have your current wisdom, knowledge, skills, insights, convictions, what would be the first thing you would be sure to implement in your homeschooling this next time around, or take away or don't do in your homeschooling journey?
I think I would make sure that I took a field every week. If I could do that, I think that helps break up the monotony. So if I could do a field trip every week, like on Wednesdays, just do a field trip like in the middle of the week, give some pre-work to it, go on the field trip, and then at the end of it, kind of loop it back around to what we learned. So yeah, I think that would have helped me and helped them kind of transition more smoothly. And it puts an expectation that this is not going to be just like traditional school. I think when I started, I tried to do it more like traditional school, and that didn't work for us. So I think if I had to do it again, I definitely would make sure there was a field trip every single week.
Gotcha. Good idea. That's a really good idea too. Well, listen, girlfriends, you have been with Sunny Brown. I keep calling you Sunny Anderson, right? Sunny Brown.
Yeah. Sunny Brown. Sunny B.
Yeah, Sunny Brown. I love that. So, listen, Sunny, do you have any last words of advice for the girlfriends, and how can they get in contact with you if they want to continue the conversation and ask you some more questions, pick your brain, and then what do you have your hands involved in that you want your village community to know about and rally along with you and support you in?
I would just, last words of advice is you can homeschool. You can. It does not have to look like anybody else's, but you can do it. I hear a lot of parents who are interested say, I wish I could homeschool. And I always say, you can do it. So I just want that to be just known to everyone. It may not be for everybody, for every child, but you can do it. So I would love to say that. And then what I'm involved in, we are gearing up for the summer. And of course we do our 20 for 20. We're gathering donations to be able to support young people in underserved communities to be able to learn how to swim. So if anybody would like to partner with me about that, or if you have questions about where you can go to learn how to swim in your city, in your state, I have connections all over, and I will definitely help you find where you need to go. So I can be reached at Sunnyflow Music on Instagram, at sunnyflowmusic@gmail.com, through Facebook. I'm Sunny Anderson or Sunny Brown on Facebook. Anybody can reach out to me, and I will help push you, because we want all people to learn how to swim.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, girlfriends, listen, you are the average sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And for this past hour, you've been hanging out with Sunny Brown. I love that name. That is so cool. Sunny Brown, you've been hanging out with her. So listen, keep up the momentum and connect with other positive homeschoolers that's going to make a positive impact in your life. Get a sister circle, connect with your village who's going to encourage you and stir you on and give you that cheering and support that you need on this journey, or the journey you want to get on. Okay, so stay positive, be around positivity, and be a positive influence that others can also draw from. That's just as important too. So, but Sunny Brown, listen, girlfriend, you got homeschooling. We are so thankful to you. I appreciate you again and again for hanging in there and coming on back again. I appreciate so much for you sharing your wisdom and your knowledge on this platform, and bringing encouragement to this community. So thank you so very much, Sunny.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. All right, girlfriends, listen, go on over, number 1, to Facebook, our Facebook page, Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling, and be sure to like and follow. That's number 1. Number 2, hit the share button. You just never know who needs to hear this. Sunny may have had the right thing for the right person or people to hear. So please hit the share button, because sharing is caring. All
Care.
right. And then remember that to teach a child is to touch a life. And as we homeschool, we not only touch a life, but we shape the future through our efforts of homeschooling. Day after day, year after year, keep making that positive impact, because it's going to show forth in our kids. It will. So keep it up. All right. So again, Angela Jordan Perry, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, get connected with our girlfriends chat, and educating our own new platform.
Yes.
Get ready. It's coming out. It's coming out. So thank you all for joining in. And until next time, we'll see you again. All right, Sunny. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.